It's time to get lunch ready on the grounds of the 52nd General Assembly of the Indigenous Peoples of the state of Roraima in the Brazilian Amazon. But as participants chat and cook their traditional dishes, they do not lose sight of the reason why some 3,000 native people gathered here.
This assembly is important because we are here to strengthen our struggle for our lands and our rights.
We need to fight for the respect of the rights of the indigenous people that have been established in the 1988 Brazilian Constitution.
They held 4 days of intense discussions this week on their problems, their rights, the preservation of the environment and the protection of their territories, which, studies show, saw a steep increase in incursions and acts of violence during the administration of President Jair Bolsonaro. The head of the organizing body, however, says while problems did get worse under Bolsonaro, their struggles go back much further.
We lived for 4 years under a genocidal president, a murderer. But actually, as indigenous people, it's not just about these 4 years. We have been suffering with the invasion of our lands for 523 years, since the Europeans arrived.
The indigenous groups gathered here at the Caracaranã Lake are preparing now to welcome President Lula da Silva to their annual assembly. They have great expectations for this government.
The president, who has overwhelming support among indigenous peoples, promised he'd participate in this year's assembly when he came here to Roraima in January to launch the emergency assistance operation for the Yanomami people who are suffering with hunger and disease, fueled by illegal gold mining operations. Now, serving his third term in power, Lula made an important symbolic gesture of support to indigenous people when he established a ministry dedicated to their issues and appointed an indigenous woman, Sônia Guajajara, to lead it.
We are now part of this government, and we want to rebuild all indigenous, environmental and human rights policies that have been dismantled over the last years.
In his speech Monday, Lula acknowledged there are serious problems and promised his government will do everything to protect indigenous land, but he did not announce any new demarcations.
Indígenas não estão ocupando terra de ninguém.
Indigenous people are not occupying anyone's land. You are only struggling to have what was already yours. Since 1500, invaders have been taking away the land that belonged to you.
During assembly breaks, participants enjoyed the refreshing waters of the Caracaranã Lake, one of the many beautiful spots of the Raposa Serra do Sol reservation. It's a moment of relaxation and joy between serious discussions on the struggle for their rights. Paulo, Cabral, CGTN, Caracaranã Lake, Brazil.